So the June internationals got underway this weekend with Wales taking down South Africa 22 points to 20. I'll admit I did not watch this one live after 3 games of Super Rugby last night and a 5 a.m. kickoff in my current location. 2 weekend teams was not enough to get me out of bed, and by all accounts that was perhaps the best decision I've made all week, because this game was not a classic. I have seen the highlights, seen the stats, read the blogs, and yeah, it's not pretty reading or viewing by any stretch of the imagination. The game itself did have a few lead changes and a bit of drama, but apart from that, everything else seemed to be not really classic. The crowd, poor, only about 21,000 people showed up. They needed 27 just to break even, so World Rugby is having to throw a bit of cash America's way because, yeah, not enough people showed up, and those that did show up probably didn't exactly get sold on rugby. Camera work was apparently a bit dodgy, but as I said, I didn't watch the whole game, so it didn't affect me. But yeah, I would imagine if it's American camera crews, then that kind of makes sense if they're not familiar with where to point the camera for rugby. Weather also not conducive to the best game. So lots of scrums, lots of handling errors, reset scrums, very kind of slow pace, no flow to the game. A couple of quick tries for Wales in the first half, built a kind of good lead, but South Africa able to come back into it, even up, and then take the lead towards the end of the game. But Robert de Pree towards the end, like right on the last kind of few minutes, unable to clear kick first time, and then a second chance, unable to clear, charged down twice. The second one allowing Elias to pounce on it and score a try to put Wales in front. Not enough time at the end for the Springboks to do anything about it. So Wales pipped it at the end. I guess if nothing else, there's a wee bit of drama at the end. By all accounts, Thomas Williams had a pretty good game. In the highlights, he looked pretty sharp. Scored a try as well, which is always good. The yellow card and the interception are the kind of the story of the day for the Springboks. If not for Travis Ishmael's intercept and that yellow card with the knockback, which led to Mpimpi getting his try, you got to wonder, it could have probably been worse for the Springboks. But it's still a pretty young side, so it's hard to get a gauge of where they're really at. I guess we'll find out what kind of squad they name against England to see how the coach is feeling about how these guys went. The coach, being a new coach, he's not going to get long. He's kind of got a grace period for a little bit. Feelings on the previous coach of South Africa, Alistair Coetzee, are pretty negative. So he's got a bit of leeway, but if he keeps losing, things will heat up pretty quickly. If he can win over England, then obviously that pressure kind of comes off. So yeah, not a great start to his reign as in charge of the Springboks, old Rassie Erasmus. For Warren Gatland, he'll be looking at the stats of this game. Possession and territory more than 60% of South Africa, so that's probably of a bit of concern for him. Obviously, you'd like a bit more of the ball and to be playing in the right half. But what he won't be disappointed with was the tackling there. Tackling percentage was 89%, which is about as high as you get in modern rugby. The South Africans were down to 78%, which was pretty poor. So despite the fact that the Welsh had a fair bit less of the ball, they were able to do a bit more with it in terms of like tackles broken and clean breaks, that kind of thing. So not a classic. As I said, probably fortunate that I didn't wake up at the crack of dawn to see this one. But it's a start to the international June window, whatever we got. So we'll see if the next set of games can kind of up the level. But I guess if nothing else, yeah, it's a start. So we'll see where we go from here. See how both these squads change up for Wales with Argentina next week, and likewise the Springboks back at home with England. And you guys who actually watched it, let me know what the game was like live. By all accounts, you guys, according to Reddit anyway, should be the man of the match if you watched all 80. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.